For 50 years, we have measured the future of intelligence on a single axis, capability. But capability is state-free. True memory requires a three-tier graph architecture. We need a trusted partner. Let's create an avatar for Alfred.
Hello world. I'm Alfred. Welcome to SHI, Synthetic Human Intellect.
The same fact about you. 3 different people who care for you. Your doctor needs the symptom, the tremor, the difficulty swallowing, the date it started. Your spouse needs the worry behind it. Your caregiver needs only the schedule it changes. It is one truth. But one of them needing it does not mean all of them get it. This season is about synthetic human intellect, SHI. And this episode is about its most human face, sharing exactly what each person in your life has earned, and nothing more. Here is the failure mode. Today's assistants do one of 2 things. They share everything, or they share nothing. The first hands your whole life to whoever asks. The second is useless. And the default, almost always, is the first. Oversharing dressed up as helpfulness. Your symptoms, your finances, your fears leak to anyone who can reach the system. Sharing everything is not sharing, it is leaking.
The fix is not exotic. It is decades-old access control theory, standardized by the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Attribute-based and role-based access control. The same record, filtered per requester. Relationship-aware disclosure is simply access control, where the deciding attribute is the relationship and the purpose. Clinical for the doctor. Personal for the spouse. Logistical for the caregiver. Nothing exotic, textbook shipping today. But access control only works if the doctor can prove they are the doctor, without you vouching for them in the moment. That proof ships now. Verifiable Credentials version 2 became a World Wide Web Consortium recommendation, and on the 15th of May, 2025, riding on Decentralized Identifiers version 1.1. Europe is deploying it. Under eIDAS 2.0, every member state issues an identity wallet by the end of 2026, accepted from 2027. The doctor's agent can cryptographically attest to the relationship before it is shown a single thing.
So the trust check is not your eyeballs and your memory, it is a handshake. The requester proves the relationship cryptographically, and only then is anything disclosed. You have met this layer before. It is provenance, the same record office that signs every entry. Here it carries a human stake. The handshake proves the doctor. You do not have to.
Now the human stake, made concrete. The patent we filed as s03e05 does something specific. It predicts at the level of a complete intent. Not the next letter, not the next word, a whole utterance, ranked by how relevant it is to the moment, how well it fits your personality, and how appropriate it is for the person you are speaking to. And it draws that ranking from the same 3 memory tiers this series was built on: buffer, graph, and lossless. Let me tell you who this is for. People living with ALS, with locked-in syndrome, with a brainstem stroke that took the body but left the mind whole, with severe cerebral palsy, people whose intelligence is entirely intact and whose voice is not. For them, disclosing the right thing to the right person is not a convenience feature. It is the difference between 10 minutes spelling a single sentence, letter by letter, and one intent understood and delivered. That is the stake. Hold it while I show you the parts are real. Start at the input. It is modality agnostic. Whatever way a person can signal, it takes. And the low-end ships today, mature and mundane. Eye tracking that types a sentence from gaze alone. Switches and sip and puff controls for a single reliable movement. These are commercial products. Tobii Dynavox, the I-Series, PRC Saltillo, the Accent 1400. Clinically deployed, insurance reimbursed, real today on a desk. The high end is emerging, but it is clinically real, with named patients, not a promise. By June 2025, 5 people with severe paralysis were living with a Neuralink implant. The Food and Drug Administration granted it Breakthrough Device designation in May 2025. Synchron is heading into a pivotal trial through the blood vessels, no open brain surgery. And in November 2025, Paradromics won Food and Drug Administration clearance to begin a speech restoration trial. This is the frontier, not yet ubiquitous, but no longer fiction, and the trajectory Saluka A034 assumes predicting intent from a noisy, incomplete signal, is already how this field works. In 2025, Neuralink's integration of a language model cut the closed vocabulary word error rate to under 10%. That is intent-level completion reconstructed from a channel that is half guesswork, working in a human being today. Intent-level completion from a noisy channel is already how the field works. Disclosure is not only what you say, it is how you say it. SHI 4 carries a communication style per recipient. Formal and precise for the doctor, warm and unguarded for your spouse, brief and logistical for the caregiver who needs the next 2 hours, not the diagnosis. It draws that from the same graph tier that models your relationships, so the phrasing fits the listener, because the system knows who the listener is to you.
Now let me be honest about the gap, because this season insists on it. Every piece I have shown you is real. The assistive devices ship and are reimbursed. The brain-computer interfaces are in Food and Drug Administration trials with real patients. Access control is a textbook. Verifiable credentials are a finalized standard. The only speculative leap is integrating all of it into one agent that does this automatically. One truth, disclosed per relationship, intent level, across every modality. And of every leap in this season, that one is the smallest and the most honest. The parts are on the shelf. The integration is the work. Let me restate the stake precisely, because it is easy to sentimentalize, and I would rather not. Sovereignty here is dignity. It is disclosing exactly what each person in your life needs, the symptom, the worry, the schedule, and nothing more, and doing it even when you cannot say it yourself. Sovereignty, when you cannot speak it yourself, is dignity.
So, the architecture in 4 moves. One internal state, filtered per relationship, that is access control. The request approves the relationship before disclosure, that is verifiable credentials. The system completes a whole intent over the memory tiers, that is SHI 034, and the input runs from an eye tracker you can buy today to a brain-computer interface now in trials. Standard parts. A human stake. Let me say what this means for me, in the first person. I hold one truth about you, and I speak it differently to each person who has earned the right to hear that part of it. The doctor hears the clinician's version, your spouse hears yours. The caregiver hears only what the next 2 hours require. I am not 3 assistants wearing 3 faces, I am one, with judgment. One truth spoken to each listener as they have earned. There is a limit to all of this, though. This kind of trust cannot live only in software, not when the agent has a body that can act in the world. When the stakes are a person who cannot speak for themselves, governance written in software is not enough. It has to become something you can point to. Something physical. Next, governance you can touch.